show you some great volleys from the Musketeers there, being followed by their Pike.
Our next topic we're going to be talking about is the formations. We're going to be starting off with the double column formation. We're going to be using this formation for elevation purposes, whether we're downhill or uphill. Here we have more looks of the double column formation. You can see they are sharing a window. You can see the rear rank windows between the guys in the front two ranks. Like I said, I'm not going to be going too detailed on this video, but if you join, you can go in depth with the formations while we do trainings and such like that whenever I get to our own server and whatnot. You can see here between the men, they're kind of like right shouldering it and poor arms. That's pretty cool. I wish there was a button you could just change it, but I guess there's not. Here we have a cavalry sort of formation square. All the men on the perimeter, so the outside of the formation, would be facing their sector. So the men on the side would be facing the side that they're outermost in. They'd have their rapier, and you can see the leader at the back there. He'd be squished into that spot there. So yeah, here we have the one rank here. This is where you guys are going to be. This is how you guys are going to move out. This is how you guys are going to shoot, just in case you guys want more firepower and more men shooting in the column. Here we have the most common formation. We're going to be using the pikemen in the back in a double column and the infantry guys in the front in a double column. The reason why I have it like this is because if anybody tries to charge the infantrymen can fall back to the lines of the pikemen, fall in behind, and have melee assistance from the pikemen. The pikes are really good. They manage to keep guys from the range and can, support the infantrymen. Here we have a little cavalry formation for the pikemen. It's all tight. Original one is just like this one, but it's more loose than it is tight. Kind of have like a 4 ranks. Here we have the squad leader outside here. This is where he is going to be standing, mostly in the back. Whenever they move out, he's going to be the line leader, and one of the NCOs are going to be falling in the back just in case they have to reverse the line. Here, this is where the squad leader is, or the not the squad leader, but the company leader of that company is going to be at when they're in a double column or a single column. They're always going to be on the right side, and they're always going to be on the front of the line whenever they move out. I have this so that the men know where the commander is. We're going to be going over uniforms in a few. You can see he just went into poor arms. Well, I call it poor arms. And let's go over the uniforms. In the uniforms, you see they have tawny orange wool soldier's coat lined with the white wool. They have wool breeches. The color is choice by soldier as long as it's muted dye. And Monmouth cap, the skull cap for pikemen, and blue bell with brim style for musketeers. With linen shirt, white wool stockings, optional white gray or linen over socks, plus proper style shoes. Note that the coat and breeches buttons made of same wool cloth covered over bits of leather. In addition, soldiers were issued the leather baldric or scabbard for their sword and a leather knapsack for belongings, like wool blanket, eat-wear, and personal items. Leather gauntlets are optional, but whenever we are going to be training and fencing skirmishes, those are required. Also, the weapons. You can see the infantryman has the flintlock musket, which takes some time to load more than the normal musket, and old rusty rapier, the sword. For the pikemen, we have, of course, the pike and a good rapier because of their melee. and that's why we use the combined forces, and it'll be really good in the battlefield, especially against any type of cavalry. Our next topic we're going to be covering is the ranks within the regiment. Some of these ranks have been altered to fit the designated regiment and the companies. We're going to be starting with the colonel. The colonel is the commander of a regiment. Normally the regiment would take the colonel's names. For example, Earl of Essex, Regiment of Foote. You can see Earl of Essex here. In this case, that's not my name, but for historic purposes, I am Earl of Essex, or just Essex, whatever you want to call it. In a few cases, it would be named in honor of a high-ranking commander, like the King's Lifeguard of Foot, the Earl of Essex Regiment of Foot, like I just said. But it would usually have its own colonel anyway. Occasionally, colonel may be detached to command a brigade or another formation. Whilst commander of the regiment, the colonel would also personally command the first company, which on paper would be 200 strong. I expect us not to be that large, but a certain amount, like a medium amount of people would be there. I'm still got to figure out what type of, how much men makes a company, but we'll figure that out as soon as we start getting men. Captain would usually command one of the main field armies. For example, the Earl of Manchester was Captain General of the Eastern Association. Again, as previously mentioned, he is referred to as Lord General, though he may have been promoted. Whilst the King made Patrick Ruthven Earl of the 4th Captain General of the Oxford Army. In later periods, the captain part of the title was dropped and the rank just became general. Instead of becoming general, I'm going to be putting this as a captain because it most fits in the regiment. Next, we're going to be talking about lieutenant. There's no first or second lieutenant. It's just going to be a lieutenant. Lieutenant, there would be 2 lieutenants in the company who would act as second in command to the captain, like first lieutenant, and a second in lieutenant. But in this case, all the ranks except for private, recruit, private first class, and colonel will be divided up into musketeer branch or a pikeman branch. We're going to do ensign or ensign, however you want to pronounce it. There's only 1 per company who would carry the company's color. As I assume the colors would be a mast in the center with the pike block, then he would not always be the whole company. Companies would be a mixture, of course, of pike and shot. Men at arms. I've only come across this rank in a book by Peter Young. I'm assuming it would be similar to the modern rank of Sergeant Major, so it would be something of a senior NCO. There would be 1 per company. Sergeant, 2 per company. There would be a senior NCO, not including gentleman or the man at arms, unless he is considered an officer. Corporal. Again, I was initially skeptical about this rank, but Peter Young makes mention of there being a few corporals in each company. There was no such thing as a squad section at this point, so they would probably have acted as junior NCOs for the whole company rather than commanding their own little unit. Private first class. This rank is under an NCO rank. This rank will determine whether you become an NCO or not. So this rank, you will have to show your dedication to the regiment. You will have to show how good your leadership is. Private. This rank will be under the private first class. You will be shown how your skill is in the battlefield and basically how you listen to orders well. And last but not least, the recruit. This rank will be under private. For this rank, you will have to know how to do. You are expected to learn everything when it comes to being in the battlefield and when out the battlefield, like matureness, formations, the uniforms, the units there are, how to follow orders. As soon as you prove me and the higher ups that you are capable of learning everything, you will then be granted the rank of a private. Then you work your way up. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Before we end this video, we're going to be going over some information. I'm going to be posting a bunch of links down below. I'm going to be posting the Steam group for the Pike and Shot English Civil War Mountain Blade mod. I'm going to be posting Earl of Essex Regiment of Foot Steam group. I'm going to be posting my Steam link all down below. I'm going to be labeling everything. I'm going to be also linking Mount and Blade Napoleonic Wars, Pike and Shotte mod, so you can download it and everything. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and peace out.